Okay, you've reached retirement or you're about to retire and you've sorted your finances. You know what's in your pension pot and where your investments are. And now you're faced with a completely blank calendar. But over the last few weeks, as I've been talking to a number of people who are in exactly that position, that is not actually their biggest concern. Their biggest concern is legacy. What am I going to leave the world when I finally depart? So I want to tell you a quick story about my grandfather. When I was 5 years old, my grandfather took me to my first Leeds Rugby League game. And I still vividly remember the game. I remember where we were sitting in the North Stand at the wonderful Headingley. I remember my grandfather going, "Come on, Leeds," instead of "Come on, Leeds." I just remember that whole journey. The day itself, it was just tremendous. Now remember, I was only 5 years old. And then 2 or 3 years later, my grandfather and my father took me down to the hallowed turf of Wembley. Now I know if you're in the USA, I know, or anywhere else in the world but the United Kingdom, Wembley does not mean anything to you. But just for anyone in the UK, it isn't the new Wembley. This was the Twin Towers Wembley. And again, I vividly remember walking up the stand, up towards those Twin Towers, going into the game. I don't remember much about the game, although I do know that Leeds played Widnes. Now, when I think about that now, today, my mother was here late last year. My mother and I actually managed to sit down and watch that game, and we had a whole evening reminiscing about my grandfather. But there was more to it, because my grandfather was a phenomenal cricketer. He was an outstanding spin bowler, and he taught me how to spin when I'm bowling. He also taught me how to defend against a spinning ball when I was at the crease at cricket. And again, I just think back to those days playing in my grandfather's garden, cricket with him. It was just wonderful. Now, my grandfather died 40 years ago today. He's long gone. My nephews and nieces do not remember him at all. But strangely, they are also very big Leeds, as they're now called, Leeds Rhinos fans. Now that's a legacy. What you give to your children and your grandchildren, what you teach them, how you mentor them, how you interact with them, those memories will go on and on and on. My brother and my sister fondly remember my grandfather, and every time we tell stories about him, he was a farmer, and again, when he was ploughing, he always used to say, "I can plough straight," and yet he never could. He was always wiggly. And look at it, I'm talking about my grandfather now, who passed away 42 years ago or something like that. And I got this huge smile on my face. He was a wonderful gentleman, kind, caring and giving. He also had a Triumph Dolomite Sport in his retirement, and I remember being taken on drives with, you can see all that. Now to me, that is legacy. It's not going to find a cure for cancer. It's not solving the latest energy crisis or whatever it is, or painting a masterpiece or writing plays that will be seen in 400 years' time. Sure, that is a legacy, but only a tiny, tiny, tiny few people do that. And to do that, they generally have to sacrifice the relationships with their family. If you want to leave a strong, lasting legacy and give your retirement a purpose, then focus on the people that matter to you most. Make sure you give them the time that they want and need, because that's you leaving a legacy. You will never find your legacy behind a screen or in a business meeting. Your legacy is what you give to your children and your grandchildren. Keep that one in mind as you go into retirement. Now, if you want to learn more about building the perfect or designing the perfect retirement, then check out my latest program, which is bringing a whole community of people together, and they're just providing some amazing stories as to what they have already done in their retirement and what they're planning to do. Check it out down below in the show notes. I'm sure you'll find something there to give you the inspiration, the motivation to just design the perfect retirement for you.